Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 18 of Journey Across the Void. In between episodes, I really just spent it building. I got all of my elevators in, and while that was happening, I came back to look at the reactor, which I had turned off at the end of the last episode since I was running out of fuel. But, yeah, my electromagnets had turned off. Luckily, because it was completely powered down, there was no plasma inside to explode. So, I lucked out on there. But it turns out I went to my fission reactor and I never actually hooked up the output for the depleted 233 oxide fuel. So I went ahead and did that. So hopefully when that fills up, my reactor doesn't turn off and I lose power completely to my electromagnets. But let's go take a look at what I did for the elevators. I'm pretty happy with them. This is the elevators. So I have 8 floors hooked up right now. And that's really the best that I could do right now. I can't fit more than 8 floors on the screen. So let's go down to floor 1. Here we go. Yeah, so on floor 1, and it's identical on all floors. I started work on it over here. I just don't have the elevators in. But yeah, it's access to every single one of the floors, at least for the center tower right here. And yeah, I'm just pretty happy with it. Let's go up to the command center. So in preparation for this episode, I also made a couple of machines. Well, not all of the machines, but I got all of the... I was dangerously low on ferroboron, so I made some more ferroboron so I could make these servo mechanisms. And with 2 servo mechanisms each, I can make a melter, I can make a centrifuge, and I can make the neutron irradiator, because the first thing I'm going to be doing in this episode is I'm going to be making tritium using the tritium that I already have from the cows. So it's going to be kind of a what are those machines called? Perpetual motion or perpetual energy. It's one of those. I always get them confused. Regardless, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this neutron fluid, which was produced from running the tritium through the fusion reactor in the first place. Put that right there. And this neutron fluid is going to get irradiated and turned into more tritium for me. So that is the end-all be-all. I have pretty much everything I'm going to need, with the exception of the lithium, because the lithium-6 and neutron fluid are what's going to produce this for me. I'm also going to be getting more helium, so I'm actually going to need one more ender tank as well, but that's fine. I'm in the process of assembling the machine right now, and it is almost done. It's actually much simpler than I thought it would be. It's really just a straight line. So I'm going to head back down to the fusion reactor and put in these basic fluid filters before I put in my lithium ingots. I need to make sure that the lithium 6 and the lithium 7 is separated properly before they go into the neutron irradiator, because the neutron irradiator is very specific that it needs a lithium 6 in there. However, I'm going to be producing lithium 7, so I'm going to need another filter to make sure that it goes into a quantum tank of its own. I am pretty happy with how this has turned out. I haven't fully activated yet. The neutron irradiators are not active, although they're ready to at any time. I just need to enable extract on this quantum tank. Looking at this now, it doesn't really seem sustainable. Because the lithium ingots, I'm going through them quite a bit. I put, I don't know how many stacks in here, but I'm already running through them pretty quickly, and I don't have very much lithium 6 to show for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, 1 ingot to 10 millibuckets of neutron fluid will make me 1 bucket of tritium, and that's good, but with my lithium production, it's not looking that good. So I'm not sure how long this is going to last. Regardless, I'm going to set it up real quick, or at least activate it, and see how it does. So let's extract, and bam, these are activated. They're going pretty quickly, and wow, okay, tritium is being made quickly. Now I've run into the next problem, and it's also the segue into the next part of this episode. I have 1 ender fluid conduit left. I've been getting them as quest rewards. I haven't actually been making them, because in order to make them, I need fused quartz, specifically fused quartz, and I need a sag mill for that. I haven't gotten into Ender IO. So I'm going to get into Ender IO. Well, this is quite a snag. I came to the Nether in order to see whether or not it was flat bedrock, and wouldn't you know it, it is not flat bedrock. So this puts a wrinkle in my plan. What this pack does is it actually gives you one block of bedrock in order to make use of. So looking at the quest, bedrock, if I hit check mark, it gives me bedrock. Whoops. Here we go, my one piece of bedrock, and I of course need to be careful where I put it because it can't be mined back up again. So I only have one piece of bedrock to make my grains of infinity, so I'm going to have to be a little bit creative here. There could be something in the config, I don't know, I haven't really tested it yet. There could be something in the config that makes getting grains of infinity a little bit easier. Time will tell. So I'm going to find a place to put this bedrock, and I guess where I'm going to be setting up all of my Ender IO stuff. I'll be back shortly. This looks like as good a place as any. Let's hope that this isn't a mistake. I'm going to place the bedrock right here. I'm not going to bother insetting it into, well, I guess it's too late now, but I wasn't going to bother putting it into the floor because I need to think a little bit creatively since I only have one piece of usable bedrock for myself. Looking at the recipe for Grains of Infinity, I either have to light the bedrock on fire, which was a normal way, but this is new to me. You can also use what appears to be fire water. And looking at fire water, the only way that I can produce it is either by using the cow or using the vat. And the vat requires me to be quite a ways into Ender IO in the first place. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to think creatively in order to get this bedrock on fire. The first thing that I want to try is Pyrotheum. The reason why is because Pyrotheum will light blocks on fire. I don't know whether or not this will work or if it has to be, you know, like set by me. But unfortunately, flint and steel is... Because flint and steel is finite, and then there's also like blaze and steel, I believe it's called. Yeah, here it is, blaze and steel. This is also finite, so I don't want to put up any, you know, mechanical users just placing the blaze and steel manually, because that's been done before, and by me personally, and I want to try to do something different. It doesn't seem like this blazing pyrotheum is doing the job. I don't think the fire is being set long enough. I mean, what, this is the 4th time that it's lit on? I should have gotten a grain of infinity by now. And wouldn't you know it, the second I hit the record button, I get a grain of infinity. So this is working. It is slow, but it is working. And yeah, a little too slow, especially considering I only have one piece of bedrock. Alright, so it can work in the Nether. That's absolutely something I can do. So at the very least, that's good. Oh yeah, and in-world crafting of fire water is enabled, so I need the vat. Yeah, so I can go to the Nether. I'm going to go try something with the Pyrotheum. So it absolutely works. I have 4 grains of infinity from here in the Nether, and it's actually much better odds, or seemingly much better odds than it was in the overworld. But like I did before, I just placed the blazing Pyrotheum, it lit the bedrock on fire, and yeah, I have grains of infinity. This is fantastic. So it requires me to be AFK. Ooh. Okay, never mind, I got it. It requires me to be AFK for a while, but you know what, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm going to continually mine out this bedrock until I find an area with 8 in a circle, in a donut shape, pieces of bedrock, and then place the Pyrotheum in the middle of that. So I found a pretty good area. It's only 6 blocks of bedrock, but I've been sitting here for, I don't know, 4 minutes or so, and I already have 30 grains of infinity, so the chances are really good. I don't know if I want to build a room around this area. Oh, and I should bring up that looking at the grains of infinity seeds, I usually cheese my way through packs by only getting enough grains of infinity necessary to make the grains of infinity seeds, and then I just use the grains of infinity seeds because who wants to waste time AFKing? I'm not going to do that in this pack, not yet at least, because it's something that I always do and I want to do something different, like setting Pyrotheum in the Nether. So that being said, I'm going to sit here for, I don't know, maybe an hour, see how many grains of infinity I get, then I'll head back to the overworld and start making the beginning portions of my Ender IO machines. And we're back. I have about I don't know, 4 stacks of grains of infinity. I've already used 32 of them to make simple machine chassis, and I'm ready to make my first set of machines, starting with the Stirling generator, alloy smelter, powered furnace, simple crafter, which I will probably never use, and the simple sag mill. Now that I have all of that done, I need to actually worry about upgrading these things immediately. I don't want to use them because they leak energy, and since they leak energy, it's not worth it to me. So I need to start working on making some industrial dye. And in this corner, I'm going to set up some crops so that I can easily get all of the required materials necessary in order to make that industrial dye. The industrial dye blend is made with organic green dye and organic black dye. The green dye is probably the most time-consuming. It's the easiest to get, but it's the most time-consuming because it takes 12 clippings and trimmings in order to make, as I have plenty of slime. I don't have to worry about that. And the clippings and trimmings are by running a bunch of stuff through the sag mill. All flowers, actually, I don't recall if cactus has ever been in there. I can get a cactus very easily. This may not be as difficult as I thought it'd be. I've made another batch of simple machine chassis, and I've already made my industrial dye blend. It was actually quite simple. I just had all of my slime being made over here in the redstone furnace. It all speaks for itself. I am not happy with my cactus setup. Once I get more into agricraft, I'm definitely going to replace all of this because I can't place the lights. It interferes with how I place the cactus. So, yeah, something is going to have to be done, and the answer is definitely agricraft. So that's something for another episode. In the meantime, I'm getting these machine chassis cooked up, and yeah, after that, I'm going to make the real versions of the sag mill and the alloy smelter. So I just got done making some vibrant alloy, and the reason being is I want some ender fluid conduits. Since I ran out of them, I can't keep relying on the quest rewards. So I have the alloy smelter, sag mill, crafter. I have all of the main machines using industrial machine chassis, and I have the fused quartz necessary in order to make those ender fluid conduits. Actually, I don't have to rely on that right now. So now all I have to do is with the vibrant alloy and finally the fused quartz, I can make ender fluid conduits, and oh man, it's just fantastic having a bunch of them. So I'm going to head back down into the Triskelion where the fusion reactor is, and I'm finally going to finish the machine I started the episode on. Before I get into that, though, I do want to make the vat and try out the firewater method over the Pyrotheum. So I'm going to make a vat real quick. Oh, just need to make a cauldron. So making the electrical steel is just silicon and steel inside a nuclear craft alloy smelter. Since I already had it, making the electric steel was easy. I'm going to make the vat, and the first thing I need to do in order to make the firewater is I need to make hooch, because hooch in the... I'm going to have to put in a capacitor as well. Looking at the recipes, they usually just have a recipe list. Looking at the recipe for firewater, it is redstone and blaze powder with some hooch, and then it'll make the firewater for you, and the hooch is made with water, potatoes, and sugar, and that's easy enough. So I'm going to go set this up real quick. Alright, it's making me the hooch. I'm going to need to add a little bit more water to this. There we go. And now that it's going to be using all of this water, make me the little bit of hooch that I need. Yeah, I'm going to void the output and input after this is done. Alright, here we go. There is the hooch. I have 1 bucket of hooch. That's really all I need, and I'm going to clear the configuration of this. Alright, with my firewater, I'm going to take the Pyrotheum and fill in this 1 block. Judging from the picture that was shown in JEI, the firewater... Oh, that was the wrong bucket. Alright, firewater on top of the bedrock. And I do not know what the mechanics of this are. I don't know if it's going to take the firewater if it decides to make a grain of infinity for me. Yeah, I'm not sure the mechanics of this. So I just looked it up, and there is a 2% chance of it making a grain of infinity, and it can be flowing like I have it here. I was just testing to make sure that it couldn't be a full block on top. And yeah, that is garbage, a 2% chance. So I am much better off by using my Pyrotheum in order to make it happen. That's the method I'm going to continue using. Now that I've set myself up with Ender IO, I have no problem putting any of the conduits in the walls or the floors anymore because I can make a painting machine and hide all of them with conduit facades. So, oh, yeah, we definitely have to have that connected. But after I do this, I am officially going to be closing out this episode. I have a lot to do this weekend. One of the things that I'm going to do is actually beautify this, so probably extend out a wall and have this entire little contraption hidden. I'm probably going to pick it up and move it so it is flush with here, because having it off center, it doesn't look good, and I can't foresee any machine that I'm going to have to make to put in there anyway. So that's perfectly fine. But that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to finish every single elevator in every wing of the Triskelion, and that's going to be a lot of... Oh, go. That's going to be a lot of resources that I'm going to have to go through. All right, Tritium is leaving. Helium is leaving. Awesome. I'm also going to have to hook power back up in the disk of the Triskelion, because I need lithium to be constantly made so I can support all of the tritium that I need to make. There's not really many uses for lithium that I can foresee in the future. Yeah, there's really nothing that I'm going to need lithium for other than turning it into lithium-6 and turning it into tritium for my fusion reactor. Since the fusion reactor is going to be main power for the base, I need to make sure that I have a lot of it, so lithium's priority is going into this contraption. But I am Kelly Engineering, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.